trying to find somebody that's just not somebody that we can go to Shelbyville and find to do it. They're far and few between, but we're still trying to get that. The, screen is, we had talked about putting the screen up, and Tina and I had talked, and we figured out where to put it, so that'll go from there. Also, the mowing bids specs are available next week, and it'll open up in the March meeting. So we'll start seeing some of that going on. I think that's all I have for sewer and water.
You wanna just go right into the fire report?
January calls.
Unless y'all got any questions. Okay.
January calls, we had 24, 16 of which were medical, 2 grass. We stand by for Station 6 and Station 1 twice. We had 2 alarms, 1 false call, and a hazmat. We are tracking our calls a little bit different since actually we started about mid-year last year. This year we're going to do it pretty frequently. Most of the calls last month were on a Friday. 10 of those out of the 24 were on a Friday. Man-haul hours, which man-haul hours takes in training, just going up there, standing by, going up there, studying for tests. We had 46 man hours of that. And on calls being toned out, we had 67 man hours. So that's 113 man hours that the fire department used up in January. The only way we can get that many hours is having a lot of people. So it's really, we're pretty blessed to have some people that are willing to come out and spend their gas money to help somebody else. Junior firefighters, we had a meeting in January. They're pretty anxious to get going. They're wanting warm weather. You might have seen them out. We did hydrant flows, and they were out playing in the water, and it was about 34 degrees. So,
how many do you have?
we have 13.
That's great.
We'll see if we can hold 13. Anywhere from Webb, homeschool, Cascade, and 2 graduated, and they're using those for their hours. So they're pretty active. We'll see where we go. Just a reminder, this is our 75th year, and I'll probably say it 12 more times. We're going to celebrate 75 years pretty big in the fire department. Chili cook-off first Saturday in March. So bring your chili and see if you can get your name on one of those little brass tags that go up on there. Some of you know about that. I
Do you
think
need
that's all.
anything besides chili?
Usually we have some desserts to go around. So if they want to bring a dessert, we have once or twice in the past thought we was going to have to come down to the cafe and buy some chili. We didn't have enough, but it all worked out. So Ronnie said he was going to put their chili in the contest.
What time?
It's, what is it, 6 o'clock? I think the judging starts at 5:30 or 5.
86.
And 8 at 6.
Okay.
Anything else?
Any question? Turn out gear.
We did order, we had a guy come up last Tuesday, and we fitted 4 firefighters with gear. Came out to what, $16,000?
Yes.
I have approved that in the past minutes, but we was just bringing it up and like to get your blessing on that one more time. Hope you don't say no, cause we done ordered them.
Some of this gear, well, to go back, NFPA has got, a rule that 10 years and out for turnout gear. And this, I believe all of it, is under that rule. So, if something should happen with our firefighters, then, it'd go back to us for not providing proper gear, so.
Well, didn't we approve it last time?
We did,
Oh,
or y'all
okay.
did, yes. One thing about the fire gear, what we're trying to do is we're trying to spread it out instead of buying 16, 17 sets of gear at $4,000 a person. We're trying to split it up to where we're only buying 3 or 4 at a time, because it is very expensive. You don't want it to all go out at the same time and then have to turn around and buy it all. The fire truck will be in service this month,
We were shooting for April 1.
April 1. That's it.
Thanks, sir. Planning Commission report.
On the planning commission, we talked about, there's someone that's put in an application to annex, some lots out this way. Right now, it's just kind of in the chairman's hands to kind of look over this, but that's something that could come up to us at some point. And then we also talked about the First Methodist Church. They had put in a request to move a property line there, and that kind of had to go back to get some more information about some easements, but that's the other thing that happened in our meeting. That's about it.
What easement, is it because, like our property, sewer or some kind of
It has to
lines?
do with the sewer.
Okay,
It has to do with the sewer where it's at.
okay,
And
sewer
they
lines.
just, from what I understand, will just have to have in the mapping an easement there for them, for this, I guess, the town to be able to.
Okay, thank you.
The sewer line that belongs to the house that's being sold is on the property that's going to stay with the church. That's why I had to go back and get that easement done on it.
Okay, thank you.
Parks and Rec Committee?
Yep, we're still in the process of tree planting for some of the memorial trees that need to be replaced, and some of the new memorial trees also. Since we had such a dry fall, we couldn't plant them then. Now it's a little wet maybe, but we're still planting them. And we've got a few that we're still looking for a good source of some of the trees. We haven't been able to find them locally at the nurseries, but we've got some sources, so we're working on getting those. The Tree City USA application has now been approved by the Arbor Day Foundation. So this will be the 25th consecutive year that Bell Buckle has been a Tree City USA. So I'd say that's a pretty good accomplishment. At the Daffodil Day Arbor Day celebration, we'll be having a little service or memorial there to dedicate that. And I think that we'll have somebody here from the State Division of Forestry. I think that same forester that was here last year will plan to attend. That'd be
correct. Heather Slayton.
yes. So it'd be good to have her back. The park board is currently accepting nominations for the annual Bell Buckle Tree of Note. So if y'all have a tree that you know of in your backyard or your neighbor's yard that you think would be a worthy applicant for the Tree of Note, please let us know. We'll probably, at our park board meeting next week, we'll probably be considering some of those. We've also put it out on social media, on the Bell Buckle backyards and some of the other places, looking for nominations for the Tree of Note. So that's always good, and that presentation will also be at the Daffodil Day Arbor Day celebration. We're continuing work on the Coop Pavilion, where we've done the staining of the wood on it now. looks really nice. We're still working on the electrical, that's still, a work in progress, but we plan to get the electrical, hookups back, installed and so that folks can plug stuff in out there if they need to. We met on site with a representative from Ben Lomond. They are interested in putting some telecommunications in town here. I have some friends in Manchester that get their internet and television services through them, and they like them. They're well pleased with them. So they're interested in getting an easement to put a junction box in the southeast corner of the park. So we looked at a potential site there, and of course the ultimate decision will be up to the city. But the park board, we didn't have any strong objection to them being able to put in a junction box there to hook up their cable system. And we also have reworded our mowing contract from last year, and we've given a copy to y'all. And mainly this year we're looking just to have them do just the mowing and weed eating. The landscaping, trimming, and things like that, we're going to give it a whirl to see if we can do that with volunteer work this year and see how that goes.
Any questions? Might know, because I passed that easement form on to the attorney to look at it.
Okay.
So we'll be getting that back from him and we'll bring it back here to the board. Historical committee? Beautification committee.
We have received the new Bee City USA signs. As I said, the others were too wide and they were damaged and destroyed, so we'll be putting those up in addition to the sign in the pollinator garden that says, please don't walk in the garden, basically, in a nice way. All the mums have been cut back, not pulled up, because you don't need to pull up mums, they'll come back the next year. We provided Tina for Daffodil Day with a packet that for each visitor that has Tennessee wildflower seeds. It has a handout on information about daffodils, you know, planting them, when to cut them back, that kind of thing. Companion planting to discourage insects from getting into vegetable crops, how you can use flowers as companion planters, and pollinator information. You know, why we want to protect pollinators and what you can do to encourage pollinators. So they'll be handed out that day, won't they? Okay. I'll be asking to read the Bee City USA proclamation on Daffodil Day, just as a tradition. I'm also beginning the course for Bell Buckle to receive pollinator certification to show that we have somebody in town who's become knowledgeable about pollinators and how to protect them, how to maintain yards and things without destroying pollinators. And so I started that today, and it'll be a week course. And that's all I have.
Any questions? Thank you. Arts Council report. Friends of Historic Bell Buckle School.
I'll go first and then we'll hand it off to you.
I'm on the agenda.
Okay. Well, you're still gonna share in the
Okay.
planning meeting. We have $33,844.03 in the bank as of January 31st. We received approval of the application, intent to apply application. And now we have a very large process, which will take about, only got 7 weeks to accomplish this, trying to work with South Central Tennessee to pull this off, to get this application submitted. It's due April the 1st at 12:30. We need to raise $16,000 in the next 2 months. So we'll have our 50,000. We're asking for 100,000. We may not spend all that, but that's what we're shooting for, so we can get all the plans developed and then bid out in the fall, so we know what we're up against for the next year's, the January 2026 cycle of grants, actual construction side of that. We have our murder mystery theater at the banquet hall. Katie's gonna speak to that more. Thus far, we have 13 individual tickets that have been purchased, and Katie has sold a table of 8, I think. So we've got 21 that have committed, and 13 I know have paid. I don't know if you've already received their money or not, but
I haven't yet.
that performance or that event will start at approximately 5:30 on the 15th for meet and greet type event. Food will come out around 6:15, and then about 6:30, 6:40, the actual event will start. At this point, that's all I have.
Questions from Mr. King?
I did bring you, each of you, a diagram I'm gonna leave with you, and leave one with Lisa.
Oh, cool.
A color diagram of what we have tentatively planned to get all the plans developed for. And then, got Lisa a copy of the letter of intent to the architect, so you'll have an idea if somebody wants to look at this, of what's covered under that number, what's not covered, and why we're looking for $100,000 to do that.
No mayoral updates, old business none, new business, Ms. Donna Stoddard. You're up.
Oh, I'm up, oh, sorry. In 2003, the President's Volunteer Service Award Program was created to recognize the importance of volunteerism and to honor exceptional volunteers in communities throughout the country. As we know, Bell Buckle only has a handful of paid employees. Everything else that goes on in this town is done by volunteers. BOMA, the fire department, all the different committees, and all the numerous chamber events. These all take a massive amount of volunteer hours. So the chamber saw a way to recognize all the volunteers that contribute so much to the town. So we applied and have been approved to be a certifying organization for the President's Volunteer Service Award Program. This is our first year, so we will focus on Bell Buckle and the hours that are devoted to Bell Buckle, but we're also going to include for the volunteers that volunteer in other organizations, like Scouting, Habitat, the other organizations that are out there, the Cancer Foundation, Scouting.
Volunteer.
As long as those hours are in service to others. There's quite a number of things that you cannot volunteer, or the hours can't volunteer for. But I have those on handouts. Get to them. So, let's see if we can take these and hand them out.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Do you wanna keep one? Oh, okay.
That just outlines the basics of the program. The number of hours that are required based on age, and they do go down to age 5. Although I'm not sure how many 5-year-olds are gonna contribute that much, but anyway, this is a program that the chamber hopes people would like to participate in. I have each volunteer has to keep track of their hours, and I have some forms if anybody is interested.
Oh, I'd like one for volunteers.
So the hours that you contribute to BOMA,
A Bob.
anyone else want?
That entire department? One for that? Michelle's volunteer.
I get one of them. So anyway, it's a program that we hope people will contribute. And if you're gonna volunteer, you might as well get credit for it. I know there are a number of volunteers in town who prefer to do it quietly, and aren't really looking for anything, but we thought this would be a way to say thank you to the community and everything that everyone does for the community. So, are there any questions?
And, when do the, does it go calendar year?
It's a 12-month period, and
It's calendar year?
we're gonna do calendar year. You can do any one that you want, but we're gonna do calendar year. So those who wanna participate, you wanna go ahead and plug in your hours that you knew for January, and keep going. And we have to, any hours that are done with other organizations have to be verified. Because we can be audited, because this is a government program. So we'll have to maintain a database of all the volunteers and their hours. So, if anyone has any other questions or wants to participate,
Is there any kind of action we need to take on this, or
I'm sorry,
is there any action that the
No.
board needs to take?
no, this is just strictly providing information,
Thank you.
hopefully positive.
Yeah. Very nice.
Ms. Katie Felicis is up.
Well, I wish I'd coordinated a little bit better with Mark, 'cause you have the same color copy renditions from me. But anyway, here's one for everyone about my presentation tonight. And do you need a copy for the minutes of the meeting, Lisa?
Yeah. If you had one available.
Okay. Give you these. No, busting right here. So, good evening, Mayor and alderpersons. You all know who I am, but you may not know that I'm the current co-treasurer of the Friends of the Historic Bell Buckle School and the chair of an upcoming fundraiser event the Friends are hosting at Bell Buckle Banquet Hall. As our town's officials, I know that you're aware of the Friends' efforts to restore and renovate the old school building located at the Bell Buckle Park. Our efforts in the preservation and renovation will provide Bell Buckle with a long-needed community center. Since the Friends Group's inception 2 years ago, we have raised over $42,000 in small donor donations. We have also applied for and received a $10,000 grant from the Hillsdale Foundation we're happy to say that we're on our way. In your booklet, you will find on the first page a black and white rendition of the old school building and floor plan as it is now. On the next page, a color rendition, I'll give you all of this. On the next page, a color rendition of the space as we believe it can be. It will have classrooms and an auditorium along with a lobby and kitchen spaces. The possibilities of use are endless, but it's not going to be inexpensive. Our first of hopefully many more to come fundraising events will be found on the next page of your booklet. This is a prototype poster of our event to be held at the Bell Local Banquet Hall on March 15th. Greg Heineke has generously donated the space with a staff free of charge and will provide the food served for cost. The actors who will be performing the murder mystery are semi-professional community theater performers who are doing this for the fundraiser gratis. The QR code is up and running. If you should wish to purchase tickets, we'd be delighted if you wanted to. Okay. The only thing missing from our event is permission to sell adult beverages for those interested. I contacted the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission to obtain a special occasion license for the fundraiser and spoke with Agent Riley Flowers. He walked me through the application process, and in doing so, we went over the rules for obtaining a liquor by the drink special occasion license for this event. The next 2 pages are the rules from the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission. I have circled the restriction that brought me before you tonight. As a 501c3 organization, the Friends of the Historic Bell Buckle School does qualify to receive a special occasion license. I was also informed that I would need to obtain a letter from Greg Heineke as owner of the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, giving the Friends permission to sell alcoholic beverages at our event. A copy of that letter is on your next page. In addition, because the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall is located in a technically dry incorporated town, I was told by Agent Flowers and again by his supervisor, Tabitha Blackwell, Assistant Director of the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission, that I would need to come before the Board of Mayor and Alderpersons to ask for permission to serve alcoholic beverages at our event. On the next 2 pages, you will find a copy from Agent Flowers specifically stating the type of documented approval needed. A special occasion license can be issued to your 501 organization even if the event is held in a dry city, so long as the city provides documented approval of some kind, such as a letter from a city official or proof of approval at a city council meeting or similar such meeting. You will also find a copy of an email from Assistant Director Tabitha Blackwell offering any further assistance. And finally, that is the reason I come before you today. I am asking you for permission for the Friends of the Historic Bell Buckle School to sell alcoholic drinks at our 501c3 fundraiser on March 15th, 2025. I'm sure you have questions of liability, as I did, so I would like to assure you that Agent Flowers and Assistant Director Blackwell of the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission told me that in their experience, charity fundraiser events were attended by an older crowd who know their limits and the consequences of drinking and driving. To further negate any liability to the town of Bell Buckle, the Board of Mayor and Alderpersons, the Friends of the Historic Bell Buckle School, Greg Heineke and the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, and all parties involved in the Felons, Flappers, and Foul Play event. All attendees purchasing drink tickets must have their ID checked by a Friends of the Historic Bell Buckle School board member to ensure they are of legal drinking age, and will be required to wear a wristband showing they have done so. And, as you will also see on the next page, all event goers will be required to sign this waiver of liability when having their ID checked and before purchasing drink tickets. As you will see on the next page, the Tennessee Alcoholic Commission does not require a licensed bartender to serve at a special occasion 501c3 event. But as an extra measure of caution, we have already arranged through the banquet hall to provide a licensed bartender for our event. The last page gives you my contacts at the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission. You may call or email them as needed. Does anyone have any questions?
I do. Is there an actual form if we make a motion? Is there an actual form that we fill out to show approval?
No, just a letter from any town official or the official minutes of this meeting if I should so get permission.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see how all of this is.
I love what you have people sign. And those are the things.
Yeah, I wanted it to be lighthearted and with the night, you know, and so, yeah,
Yeah, I like the term, the verbiage.
thank you. Sir. And also, Lisa, here's a copy of what I said tonight.
Oh, okay, thank you. Hey,
Yes.
put me down by a table, and then you can turn around and sell 7 of the tickets.
Oh, thank you.
Because you know Larry won't be there.
Oh, there
There's
it
no
is.
chance in the world he'll show up.
Thank you for
I hope others will follow suit.
Did anybody have any?
So you secured a licensed bartender, which you didn't need to do, but you did.
Yes.
You will be providing, bans on those that are
Yes.
21 and older, once they have signed your agreement
Mhm.
after IDs have been checked.
That way no one can slip up and like go up there and get a drink without having a band. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else on that? Okay, public input. Anybody want to speak? Mr. Anderson?
I would like, I'm very safety conscious, as I think you all know, traffic safety especially. I do attend a church here in the community. I consider myself a very flawed Christian. Having said all that, as a citizen, I would encourage the board to support Katie's request. It seems harmless, like a free will choice that the people will make. It seems that she has the safety bases covered. So I would encourage approval of it because it will contribute to the improvement of the community through the renovation of the old school. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have lost family members to impaired drivers within this, not far out the road. And Janet was one of them that was, the guy was impaired. I don't know whether he was drinking or what, but I don't understand why adults can't have a party without drinking liquor. Get you some bubbly water or something, but, you know, we can leave the liquor out. I'm A1 against it. Thank y'all.
Anyone else? I was accused of shorting the time one time, I don't wanna do that again, so. Anybody else got public input?
I have a question, it just occurred to me in the presentation. Is there not a, town committee for the beer board that would review these kinds of requests? Before it came to the,
Two different things, beer and liquor.
okay, I
They're
didn't
two
know that.
different.
Beer board, deals, all the board deals, beer
Just beer.
permits and beer sales and things like that, because of the difference in, percent of alcohol.
What is the comparison when, like, I guess it's Habitat for Humanity, there's different events, do they have to go through this same process? Cause I don't remember it coming up before, but, you know, where they get tickets to get so many drinks or whatever at at an event.
How do you control that when they can go back and say, here, you take 5 of mine? 'Cause I'm not gonna use
Yeah,
it.
no, I just didn't know what
Yeah,
the
I
difference
did.
was
Yeah.
that it's come up in front of the board for
And
this, cause I didn't know
our
it did every
ordinance has
time.
been around since 1996, and I think basically nobody's paid any attention to it, because, but when the state came up with the special license issue, Habitat for Humanity moved out of Bell Buckle because they weren't sure if they could get a special license approved for that evening. Bedford County Human Association moved out of Bell Buckle because they didn't know if they could get a special license. So,
So any event, whether it be this or,
any nonprofit event,
for instance, I'll just say National Pen had an event just recently, and you could get drinks there, and it was here in Bell Buckle. So was that wrong if they didn't go through this?
they're not a nonprofit.
Okay, so it's the nonprofit, that's the difference.
I don't know how they, honestly don't know. That's something that we should ask the state about.
I mean, I'm just saying, I've seen other events where they've given out tickets
Oh,
in
yeah,
this town
in the past,
within the last year or two. so-
Katie, do you know why, did Greg feel that the organizations needed to go through, the special license when it became available? And it's kind of something nobody really knew about?
Well, I just didn't want there to be problems because I had heard that the Habitat was turned down for their event here because they wanted to have alcoholic beverages, and so I wanted to be ensured that everything was legal for hours.
Okay, well, that's what, when I was still getting email from Habitat, that was the statement I was given. We can't serve any alcohol, so we have to go somewhere else. And,
I had heard that is fine.
I mean, that's what Pam said, the head of Habitat for Humanity.
Didn't Habitat have a problem with the timeline, or you gotta get in 2 weeks before the event? to
No,
get
they don't
approved, I
have
think.
theirs, and, I mean, this was way back in November, I think, that I got the email. Maybe December, and theirs is normally,
February.
yeah, it's normally like a week after, Valentine's, cause a lot of times they'll use the same decorations that were used at Valentine's in the banquet hall. So I think maybe there was a lot of, you know, I've heard stuff, which is so common in the world. You know, I heard this, so this is what I think I have to do. But that's just the email that, you know, what Pam sent out.
Am I correct that I've attended events in the past at the banquet hall where wine was served?
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably have.
yeah, always,
Yeah, I thought so.
yeah, always have in the past.
So was that not supposed to happen?
actually, well, as I said, our ordinance is pulled directly from Tennessee Code Annotated. I've got it. And it was passed in the municipal code, our municipal code in 1996. And it was pulled from Tennessee Code Annotated Title 57. I mean, it's basically word for word. So, I honestly don't know about the past. I have no clue. But, I have the feeling it's, you know, the municipal code is kind of long. And nobody can remember, I'm sure, what's in it, unless you actually look it up. And I have the feeling maybe, you know, kind of like for all I know, there's something in municipal code about not spitting on the sidewalk or tying your horses in front of the building. I have no clue. It wasn't until,
Miss Betsy, I don't wanna argue with you, I'm not disputing your word, I could've overlooked it. But I looked through the whole year of 1996, there was no ordinance passed concerning.
no, I got the date from, the document on the municipal code. So, I mean, that could have just been when the municipal code was updated. That's where I got that
Could
date.
be.
That could, and I could be totally wrong.
Anybody else?
Well, in the past, 96, Tennessee lumped wine and hard liquor together for separate regulations from beer. Beer and malt beverages, there's two things. They have, and I used to deal with the ABC when I was a reporter occasionally and report on stuff that they were doing. Since then, they have tinkered a lot with our state laws. I believe they divided wine out. It may have been okay for wine to be served at an event like that recently, post 96. Otherwise, you would have had to have that specialized. No, we didn't. Liquor sales on Sunday are now legal as of about 2 or 3 years ago. They have, our legislature has been very liberal in loosening liquor laws lately. Now, I'm not sure whether those folks were, if they had hard liquor there, I think they probably were running a risk of being cited. Maybe. This, Katie has got her, I's dotted and her T's crossed and seems to have followed the procedure precisely as she should be followed for the Friends of the Bell Buckle School. It's the play is about a speakeasy in Prohibition time. It would be seen sort of appropriate.
Looks like fun.
You would have alcoholic beverages available there, so.
I don't think we have to worry about what happened in the past with other organizations. We can't go back and change anything. But I think it's a very good idea to establish a policy that if a nonprofit wants to have an event in which they serve alcohol, then they come before the board and request a special use.
I think that's what we would be doing if we approve this tonight. We were establishing
Yeah.
a procedure,
Yeah,
policy,
a
and
precedent.
follow the.
Yeah, procedure to follow.
Ma'am. Okay. I need to go over there, but I can't. Ms. Wilson, you have something to say?
I've been liquor store for 20 years, and some events can have what is called a BYOB, which means they can bring their own bottle, and the people giving the event is not, they can't touch it, they can't serve it, but you can have a bottle at your table, open it and serve it yourself. So that may be, you know, that, again, I mean, I don't agree with it, because I'm like Mary Alice, I've had family members be killed from it. But there are events in the past where if it says BYOB, that means that the event people don't touch it, they don't serve it, but they can bring it and set a bottle at their table and serve themselves.
Notice Greg is advertised this Valentine thing, BYOB.
Yeah, so that means nobody of his staff can touch that bottle, they can't even open it for those people, they can't pour it, they have to, whoever sets it on their table has to be responsible for pouring it themselves. Greg and them can offer them a Coke or something, or sell them a Coke to go with it, but they cannot participate in doing anything with that bottle on the table.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Our event will be a non-BYOB event. We don't want people bringing outside liquor in. We would like to sell what's been donated to us.
Start the regular meeting. Motion to approve the minutes from previous month.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion made, is there a second? Second Humphrey. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Financial reports, we have a motion.
Motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Motion made, is there a second?
I'll second.
second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Vote to spend the $16,000 on the fire turnout gear. Is there a motion?
I thought you said we approved that last time.
I want it approved again.
Oh, okay, I make a motion, we approve for the second
Thank you
time.
very much.
And I second. We both second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Down to, I guess we get down to, nothing under old business. Did I miss anything, Lisa? Okay. On the new business, what's the pleasure of the board on voting for the special liquor license?
I make a motion that we approve the special license. I think it gives the Board of Aldermen and the town greater control over, events in our city limits. And also, my experience with nonprofits where we have served alcohol, the organization has greater control over, in my opinion, over the amount of alcohol consumed. The only time I've ever seen, situations where people had to be told, stop, or when those people had shown up also with their own liquor, including one time with his own bartender. So I like the idea that the nonprofit has a way of controlling the amount of alcohol consumed. So I make a motion that we approve the special license.
Motion made.
I will second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
That concludes the business tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Wait, you said motion carried, didn't you?
Yeah, carried.
Okay, and I just didn't hear you say it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?